News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Okay, we have more news on some of the 12-year-old girls and 13-year-old girl and another 12-year-old girl in Iowa who's been raped by Joe Biden's illegals. There's so many coming in. I'll just give it to you, boom, 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 rapid fire. And it's just horrifying what we're seeing. Okay, 5 illegal immigrants charged with kidnapping 14-year-old Indiana girl out of her home. They were taking her to California, and they all came in under Joe Biden. And they're between 19 and 56 years of age, transporting a minor, presumably for sexual trafficking, out of California. They were nailed in Hannibal, Missouri, which is, I have a friend who used to live there. This is rural America. She was taken, though, from Indiana. Now, another one. Illegal immigrant pleads guilty to sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. He's from Honduras. He is a Joe Biden illegal who came over, and he's 18, and he's pleaded guilty. So he raped a 12-year-old, and he's from Honduras in Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa, small town Iowa. It's not super small. It's like a small city, if you will. So we also have the 12-year-old sweetheart in Houston. I have more information on that. Unfortunately, we now find out today that these 2 illegals, they took her pants off. They were with her for 2 hours with her pants down, and they tied her up and killed her. There are, the Daily Mail reporting, they are awaiting the test results to confirm whether little Jocelyn, that sweet, beautiful 12-year-old girl, was raped as well as murdered. And I will be shocked, I'm sorry to say, that if she was not sexually assaulted, because why would you take her pants off, and why would you hang out with her, quote unquote, or be with her for 2 hours before you killed her? So we see raping a 14-year-old or kidnapping a 14-year-old to take her to California. We see sexually assaulting a 12-year-old in Iowa. We see a 12-year-old in Houston. By the way, one of the people that saw her body, the person who called 911, said she looked like a mannequin. Her body looked like a mannequin. She snuck out of the house. Her mom gave her a kiss goodnight, and like kids do when they're young, they do really stupid things. I was one of them too, and unfortunately, this sweetheart paid with her life. I can't imagine what happened to her in those 2 hours. We also have the 13-year-old girl that was raped and tied up by one of Joe Biden's illegals in New York City. He cut off her clothes and sexually assaulted her and recorded the sexual assault so he could watch this disgusting stuff that he did. But he cut her clothes up before he sexually assaulted her. This is most of these folks are from Venezuela. This is the vile, some are from El Salvador, some from Honduras. This is the vile, wicked evil that Joe Biden has imported, stuff that'll knock your head off before you even know it, because it's third world criminals that are invading us. Almost every one of these ones was stamped and let in. Joe Biden approved. Come on in, baby. Come on in. Guess what else I want to share with you? This is really, 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 really sickening. Are you ready? The Associated Press today. Headline. I'm showing it right now if you're watching me on the Chris Crock Show Facebook page. The Associated Press headline, and the entire story about the sweetheart from Houston that we're telling you about. 2 men arrested in strangulation of 12-year-old Honduran girl whose body was found in a creek. There is no mentioning of illegal immigrant, Joe Biden's illegals. They just came here in the past several weeks. And they came here and they raped and killed her, according to the authorities. And there's no mention in the entire Associated Press story. I've tweeted it out. It's on my Twitter feed. You can follow me on Twitter at Chris Crock Show, at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. Read it for yourself. But I caught another one. CBS News, and I am begging CBS DFW to correct this omission. And it's definitely an omission by choice for CBS News. But CBS DFW had this on their website, Channel 11. I'm begging you to report the truth and put in here that he's an illegal. These 2 are illegal immigrants that have been arrested for this beautiful 12-year-old girl's possible sexual assault and brutal murder. weeks after coming here. Because if you look at the headlines from Houston, KPRC, and KHU, two of the biggest television stations there, they all mentioned that it's an illegal immigrant. These are illegal immigrants. Only the networks, AP, which is the wire for all the news, and CBS News refused to mention the immigration status. So here's two questions I have for you. Do you think the immigration status and the recent arrival of all these accused or admitted murderers and rapists, do you think the immigration status and recent arrival of these illegals is relevant to the story? Does it matter to you? Do you actually think that CBS News and AP are doing a horrible disservice by hiding the fact that Joe Biden's recent illegal arrivals are slaughtering us, are raping us, and are killing us, particularly 11, 12, and 13-year-old sweetheart girls, or sexually trafficking them out of state and kidnapping them? Is it relevant to you that there are illegal immigrants who have gotten here under the Joe Biden presidency with the wide open borders? Is that relevant to you, or do you think it's okay? Do you appreciate the news, or are you kind of nonplussed about the news hiding it from you? They're obviously hiding it from you. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Also, how much of a threat do you think Joe Biden's illegal invasion poses to our women and our children? Because I don't see many. Do you see many men in here getting attacked in these stories we're seeing? Why do you suppose all these illegals that Joe Biden has brought in are being arrested for murdering and raping and stealing these chain Venezuelan Tren de Aragua and MS-13 members? Particularly the Tren de Aragua members are grabbing purses and dragging ladies. You don't see any men, do you? There's almost no attacks on men whatsoever. It's all on our children and our women. They're all female. You see that? So how much of a threat do you think Joe Biden's illegal invasion poses to our women and our children? And do you think the immigration status of these recent arrivals of these illegals that are accused of murdering Jocelyn in Houston, do you think that that matters? Is that important to you to be part of the story? It sure is to me. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Think about this, okay? There are lines wide open, by the way, chime in right now. Think about this. There are these illegals that are accused and have been arrested for and are being held on $1 million bond each, that are Joe Biden's illegals that have come in the past couple weeks on one guy and several weeks on the other guy. We're talking weeks, and they're already arrested for raping and murdering a 12-year-old, well, for possibly sexually assaulting and murdering a 12-year-old girl. Is it relevant to you? Do you think the Associated Press and CBS News should be chastised for hiding it from us? I think it is. Here's why. There's 7.4 million. All these illegals Joe's letting in that are getting arrested for admitting to raping and murdering and such. There are 7.4 million. Almost every one of the ones I mentioned here were stamped for approval and let in. Okay. There are 7.4 million people with them in line that have been stamped and let in. You need to understand that. How many of the 7.4 million that Joe Biden has stamped and let in, and we're not even mentioning the 2 million gotaways that have come in at least so far, and the millions more that are coming in these last 6 months of the Biden administration. Hopefully it won't be any longer. But don't you think it's relevant to know that millions and millions, like scores of millions of people, or 10 million people or so, 7.5 which are on a docket, literally have been vetted as much as these guys have? I think it's extremely relevant, don't you? It goes to the heart of why it's happening. I mean, our women and our children are being violated and attacked and burgled and dragged and everything in Maryland, Houston, Iowa. I mean, my gosh, New York, in Georgia with Lake and Riley. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And I just listed off 5 states in the past week plus Lake and Riley that I can think of off the top of my head. There's more. I've told you about. There's 2 sexual assaults, at least, from Joe Biden's illegals that were flown directly in from Haiti. One is being charged with raping a developmentally disabled, a mentally disabled adult, and one's charged with raping, I think, a 13 or 14-year-old in Boston. So there's another state. I mean, there's no state where we're safe. Chicago, there's tons of Tren de Aragua violence, according to the FBI, that has been brought in. We have done what Trump said. We have imported wholesale possibly hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of hardcore Venezuelan criminals. And this is where we're at. By the way, Laken Riley's accused murderer is a Tren de Aragua member, and his brother is too, according to authorities. All right, we're going to take John in Grapevine when we come back, right? All right, John in Grapevine, we're going to talk to you. And my question is, do you think the immigration status and recent arrival of these illegals is relevant to these news stories? Does it matter to you, or are you okay with the AP and CBS News, and unfortunately CBS 11 on their website hiding the fact that they're illegals? And how much of a threat do you think Joe Biden's illegal invasion poses to our women and children? 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, one of our Senate candidates that is running right now for the election this November has been dismissive in the past year or so of this, quote, right-wing echo chamber on the illegal migrant invasion and criminal invasion that's going on. That's coming up next. Tell you which candidate and what he said next.
It's like we've opened our doors and you let a stranger into your house. Who does that? We're not protecting ourselves. We're not protecting our families.
Patty Marin raped and murdered by one of Joe Biden's illegals, according to Maryland authorities and ICE authorities, and that's the mom. And the sister-in-law directly blamed Joe Biden for leaving wide open borders. By the way, Colin Allred, who thankfully is losing handily right now to Senator Ted Cruz for his re-election bid in the fall, he literally said in the middle of this illegal invasion in 2022, so that's 2 years into Joe Biden's massive invasion, he mocked the idea that this was a criminal and massive invasion. He said, I don't hear a lot about the border. He said, I don't hear a lot about the border here in Dallas, and I'm in a border state. Obviously, we want to have comprehensive immigration reform. We want to try to, address some of these things, but it's not top of mind issue, he said. Wow. He also said he dismissed the border as a right-wing echo chamber as an issue. There you go. That's Colin Allred. The guy has no business being a senator nor a representative in our great state. As we've seen, almost all these illegals who are accused of raping and murdering coming in through Eagle Pass or El Paso. They're coming through our state, and they're doing these things to our daughters, our girls, our women. This is exactly what is vile and disgusting. It is disgraceful for Colin Allred to talk about that like that way. AP, meanwhile, on CBS News, hiding the immigration status of these illegals who are accused of taking the pants off, being with her for 2 hours, and then murdering that 12-year-old beautiful girl, Jocelyn, in Houston area. Jocelyn Nungare. All right. I want to know, do you think the immigration status and recent arrival of these 2 illegals is relevant to this story? Does it matter to you? Do you agree with the Associated Press and CBS News, which is unfortunately that story's on CBS 11's website, not mentioning the legal status? But if you go to Houston, it's all over the top of the big news stations' coverage of it, that they're illegals, and they got in just weeks ago. All right, John in Grapevine. The other question, by the way, is how much of a threat do you think Joe Biden's illegal invasion poses to our women and our children? John in Grapevine, you're on 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hello, John in Grapevine.
Good evening. The invasion, it is an invasion. The mainstream media is not going to tell anybody the truth about what's really going on. And the people that are coming across the border illegally, not all of them, but a good many of them that are coming in here have been flushed out of prisons in Central America and in Venezuela.
That's why we're seeing it. That's what we're seeing.
Absolutely. They have no respect for human life. I've carried this so far. I'm 82. My wife is 71. She has a nice automobile, and we have an SUV. She drives both. She does not go to a gas station and tank up anymore by herself. She has been told by me that if she is low on gas, would consider it empty when it hits a half a tank.
Well, that's the lesson I have for my family. 100 miles. Once you hit 100 miles, fill it up, which is a quarter tank in our cars. It's not for safety. It's just for common sense.
My husband is coming to service my car. I don't want her at a gas station alone. And there are other places also. Men have got to step up and protect our wives and our daughters because the government is not going to do it. And they're going to cover up all of these crimes and not give you any more details than is absolutely necessary.
If we don't think my 17-year-old daughter and anyone's listening who's got a 17-year-old or 12-year-old daughter is at risk, think again. It's happening in Iowa, Indiana, Houston, New York, Maryland, in Miami, Florida, in Chicago, and beyond. Catherine in Fort Worth, in Massachusetts. You're on 820 AM and now 93.3 FM WBAP. Hello, Catherine in Fort Worth.
Hi, I'm Catherine from Fort Worth in Massachusetts. Okay, now, you said 7.4 a while ago.
7.4 million have been stamped and allowed in. That's not including 2 million gotaways, which is 9.4 million, and undoubtedly it's higher than that, but that's you're looking at 9.5 million at least.
I'm looking at what I keep hearing is anywhere upwards of 15. Even Donald Trump says that.
If they can get it, then they'll take it. But it's not. Does it really matter after it's 9.5 million or 15 million? This is the population of like 38, like higher than the population of like 20 or 30 states. Like 25 to 30 states.
I agree with you. But we need to broadcast it from the highest hill because of what you said before, that these networks are downplaying it.
No, they're not downplaying it. They're not downplaying it. They're omitting the fact that these are illegals, Joe Biden's illegals who just came in weeks ago. They're literally refusing to publish it. It's not mentioned. It's not that they're hiding it. They literally are omitting it. It never happened. They're not illegal, according to CBS News and the Associated Press. They are not Joe Biden's illegals. They live here. They have every right to be here. They have citizens that were born and raised here from 50 years ago, 30 years ago, as far as we're concerned. Fifth generation.
Okay, well,
that's how they're acting like it.
Yeah, well, I know, and it's going to backfire on them, too, but...
I don't know. Not if Joe Biden and the Democrats get their way. Go ahead.
Well, you're right. No, not if they get their way. But listen, I've called CBS before, the local CBS here in the metro.
Yeah, I would ask them. I mean, look, I ain't telling you what to do, but I'm gently asking them politely, hey, can you adjust that? They probably didn't catch that. They better adjust that. It's offensive.
I've called them before, way before this was bad, and asked them why didn't they report what really happened when I knew it was an illegal. Oh, well, ma'am, they have a cover every time. Oh, ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about, or ma'am, this and ma'am, that. I've even called in Austin. I worked down there for a while.
Yeah.
I would call the stations in Austin.
All you got to do is send a copy of the story from KHU, which is the big TV station in Houston, and what the other one is, I can't remember, I mentioned it, KTRH or something, the TV station. Anyways,
Probably,
thanks for your call, Catherine. It is relevant. It does matter. And it's relevant to all of us. We need to know how to protect our children. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Next, student loan relief is brand new. Even CNN acknowledging this. All these student loans that you and I are paying for is contributing now to a brand new jump from what Joe Biden's done. 27% jump in the federal projected budget deficit per the CBO as of right now. Thank you, Joe. And you're going to hear about a Biden staffer, Democrat staffer, who is living so high on the hog, and just thank Joe Biden on a social media feed for giving him for giving him that $8,000. All that's next on the Chris Crock Show, WBAP. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Couple of things that you got to hear. Number one, with the Joe Biden, this is not a debt canceling or a debt forgiveness program. This is where you and I are paying higher taxes, paying more inflation, and we're putting more debt on our backs. Fake news CNN reporting today that the student loan relief that Joe Biden is doing is now contributing to a 27%. This is brand new, a 27% jump in the federal budget deficit thanks to the Congressional Budget Office. It will hit $1.9 trillion this year. And that's 27% high, or $400 billion. $400 billion is what you and I are paying out of our pockets in inflation, because they're printing more money. And number two, it's on our backs. So look at this other piece that you have to see. This is incredible. And I did tweet this out earlier, which is why you need to follow me on Twitter at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrok. Democrat staffer, this is from Fox News today. Democrat staffer blasted for spending habits after going viral for thanking Biden for erasing $8,000 in student debt. This is a Democrat young man. He is a communications director for longtime Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur from Ohio, Democrat. And he had $8,250 in student loans dating back to 2010 that was just canceled by we're paying for it. And guess what he just put on social media? He deleted this tweet now. He's hidden his social media profile because he's such a hypocrite. Ready? He wrote on his Twitter feed, "Just got a call to let me know my student debt has been canceled. This is why elections matter. Thanks, Joe Biden." Well, guess how much he made last year? $80,000. Guess how much he's going to make this year with his job, according to Fox News? $90,000. $90,000. Let me ask my producer, do you want to pay student loans for a guy who makes $90,000 this year? Are you making $90,000 this year? No, no, and no is what he said. He also, listen to this, all of his social media posts show him at high-priced restaurants purchasing high-dollar items. See this? You're paying for him to live in luxury. He said, phone eats first, in a post where he shows photos of a seafood tower containing lobster and oysters next to a cocktail. Here's another one, at the grill from Ipanema. Phone eats first. I don't even know what that means. He's taking a picture first. Guess what? It's a high-end Brazilian steakhouse, Fox News says. You know how much those are? Those are like $75 a person. And then last July, he posted that he was a season ticket holder for the Philadelphia Eagles, which cost $2,700 annually on average. And you're paying for all that. You hear that? I can't pay my debt because I'm too busy getting season tickets to the Eagles, going to restaurants that are $75 a person or more. If you add the cocktail, it's probably 80 or 90, right? Probably 90. Add the tip, it's probably between 90 and 100. He also talked about several times in his post about taking trips and staying at Airbnb locations in recent years with a hot tub. One of the Airbnbs is a hot tub with a view, and it was a gorgeous view, by the way. I've seen it on there. So what do you think? Are you okay with this? By the way, the median income in his district, that the representative he works for in D.C., that Democrat representative in Ohio, the median income in his district he works for is $62,000. He makes... This year, he'll make $30,000 more than the average salary in the district he works for, for the Congresswoman's district he works for. And he got a free $8,200 loan that we paid for while he lives high on the hog. So here's my questions. Do you support our country going into debt and more inflation so that you can pay off somebody else's loan debt? And what would you like to get bailed out for? By the way, do you mind bailing out this Democrat staffer who makes $90,000 a year this year, and lives high on the hog and goes to luxury restaurants and luxury trips and has season tickets to the Eagles? Do you have season tickets to the Cowboys? What do you say? Do you mind paying for his debt? You okay with that? And so that's one question. But the other ones are, do you support our country going into debt and more inflation so that you can pay somebody else's student loan debt off? And what would you like to get bailed out for? If you don't have student loan debt, what would you like to get bailed out for? I mean, isn't it fair that you're paying for other people's debt that you should get bailed out for something? So give me one thing that you really would like to be bailed out for. And who else do you think should get bailed out? Because let me tell you an example. Our number, by the way, is 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Line's wide open for you at 800-288-WBAP. When I stayed at a hotel, it was a nice hotel downtown. When my power was out, I complained about that for the whole week. Oh my gosh, can I tell you something? The sun shone on me yesterday. All my trees are removed. My yard looks amazing now. Thank you. My lawn guy that down the street that I pay using my lawn gear so I don't get lung disease. Young man, I paid him handsomely because it's been like almost a month since the lawn has been cut because this tree's been on half the lawn. Finally cut it today and it looks great. Thank you. But when I was at that hotel downtown, a sweetheart woman, young woman with a child or two children, she's a sweetheart lady, but she was a waitress. She's a waitress at the nice hotel I was staying at. And we were talking about politics with Joe Biden and all the stuff going on and everything and inflation. But she goes, the one thing I do like, she goes, I have a lot of student loan debt. And she's like, I really appreciate that. And I told her, well, and again, since we had such a nice, amicable conversation, I'm not going to be negative on her. So I just said, you know what? I said, you see that guy right over there? And there was a guy disassembling the breakfast bar. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a nice hotel with a nice breakfast spread in the morning. Like a really, it's like $23 for the buffet. And so I said, see that guy over there? And he's obviously making, I'm sure, a lot less than her. And he's disassembling the materials. He's not even working with customers. I said, are you okay with him paying for your student loan? And then I said, the people in the back that I can hear but I can't see that are doing the dishes, are you okay with them paying for your student loan? And she's like, I guess I have to think about that. So, I also could have told her about me. Hey, look, I paid off my student loan debt. It took me, I don't know, man, 10, 15 years. And I mean, do you think I should pay your student loan debt off? So once you put it like that, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? So what do you say, especially when somebody's living high on the hog like this state, our U.S. Congresswoman, her assistant making $90,000 a year this year is having all these pictures at luxury restaurants and has season tickets to the Eagles, and we're paying for his student loan debt. And he's saying, thank you, Joe Biden. This is why I did it. This is amazing. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And then some people, the National Republican Congressional Committee said this: the median income in that district in Ohio for the Congresswoman is $62,000. And Ohioans who work hard and save and pay off their own loans are priced out of brunch seafood towers, like where this guy went. Another one says the student loan debate in 2 tweets. He makes $90,000 a year and works for Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur. By the way, Fox News reached out to her. No comment. Do you understand that all this whole student loan bailout thing, not only are we paying for it, not only did we just see from CNN's report today and the Congressional Business Office, just this year alone, the deficit went up 27%. Projected budget deficit. I'm holding it up on the Chris Crock Show Facebook page where I'm streaming live. Follow me on Facebook as well as Twitter at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRISKROK. Wowie. I mean, this is amazing. I'm so glad that this guy was nailed and outed. And no one's saying nothing. By the way, here's another piece of information from her Republican challenger in her congressional district. He told Fox News Digital she refuses to stand up for Ohio values of hard work and personal responsibility. Her voting record on Biden's student loan bailout is the latest example. Northwest Ohioans that work hard every day are not responsible for paying off other student loans bills, period. Okay. Hey, by the way, I'll take somebody chipping in on my mortgage. That's what I would like. I would like you to chip in on my mortgage. Okay. By the way, that's one thing. But also coming up next, I want to get into this. The pilots union, one of the biggest ones in the whole country, actually the biggest one in the country apparently, is now suggesting phasing out all these masculine terms. They say they're masculine terms. You have to hear which words they are canceling or trying to cancel. And then I'm going to talk to you about if you agree with that these masculine terms, quote unquote, are offensive. I don't even think they're masculine. Or do you think these terms may confuse people and make us less safe if you try to make us use these new words they're trying to make us say? Total B to the S. That is next on the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Okay, the pilots union, the largest one apparently in the country, Actually, it's the world's largest airline pilot union is now suggesting a whole bunch of different terms because they're no longer offensive in this DEI world, which is a disgrace and a joke. Ready? You can't say cockpit anymore. It's not inclusive. Cockpit is not okay. Nope. Inclusive language, and they also, anything masculine. Nope. Inclusive language in communications is essential to our solidarity and collective strength and is an important factor in maintaining flight safety. Are you kidding me? What do you call the cockpit? Let's see. Cockpit now needs to be called a flight deck. Would you know what that is? To me, the flight deck's the whole plane, right? Hey, make sure you don't go in the flight deck. I'm on the flight deck. We're flying. I'm here on a deck. I'm not below the plane. I'm not in the belly of the plane. Can I say belly? That's funny. That's stupid. I literally would never call it flight deck. I don't know what that means. My safety is now jeopardized. This doesn't help safety. This hurts it. Oh, what else do we have here? Oh, by the way, the term cockpit, I'll tell you where that emanates from, where it originates from in a minute. Also, man and men must be avoided. You can't say man. Or who is that man? What is that man doing? What is that? What do those men want? Nope. Now it needs to be said people or human, I guess. Wow. And then manpower needs to be people or human power. People power! We need more people power here. Dude, if you want me to laugh at you and immediately be like, what the heck's wrong with this? This person's way whacked. Have you ever had somebody that says they say they, and they're trying to be sensitive? There was a colleague, apparently, that told me about somebody that was doing that, and they're younger, and he's like, he literally did not understand what the person was saying. What do you mean? And then finally he figured it out. He's like, oh my gosh. Mike in Fort Worth, you are on WBAP. Hello.
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 Hey, Chris, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, brother?
They need to cease and desist on this softness of words. How offensive is cockpit? Everyone knows that has a relevance to the airplane.
Right. I mean, I don't know. There's no other thing as a cockpit anywhere. There's no other term for it.
There is no other term. I mean, next thing they'll say about the bathroom that someone, I guess the word pee-pee will be offensive.
That is offensive. You're assuming we pee standing up.
Right.
I might appear as a man, but I might pee sitting down only, sir. See that?
Help us.
Now we need some help down here. Blackout days, that's out. It's offensive. Because of people of color, they're saying blacklist, whitelist, black box, white box. I mean, this is insane, dude.
Okay, I'm a man of color.
Okay.
Blackout list. I guess if it was pink out or pink in, everything be good, huh?
Yes, sir. Especially because of the vagina hats that they wear. Those crazy vagina hat ladies that hate Trump. Yeah, they would like that. And code pink, those crazed leftists. All right, here's another one. Grandfather clause. No more. Needs to be legacy clause. Legacy clause. What?
From the great words of not Donald Sutherland, my man, he said, take your lip and pull it over your head and swallow. That's
there
what
you go. All right, here's another one. Master. They're saying master's not okay, like master bedroom or whatever. My gosh, what's wrong with these people? All right.
Well, they have master sergeant in the Marine Corps and in the Army.
That's got to be changed. Sergeant. A lot of our sergeants are in pumps now, sir, and you know that, and I know that. They're in pumps and skirts, and they're men. So there we go. All right, my friend, I'm going to give out some more. I appreciate your great call tonight, Mike. Always a pleasure.
Okay, sir.
Take care, brother. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP. Question is, do you agree that masculine terms are offensive? Or do you think these terms may confuse people and make us less safe? I mean, if somebody is told to say flight deck instead of cockpit, I literally don't know what they're talking about. If there's a big deal, and I need to help out a pilot and I'm, sitting towards the front, they're like, please help him, sir. There's a problem in the flight deck. What? I'm on the flight deck. No. Holy gosh. By the way, the other questions is, what other words or titles have you seen renamed so as not to offend anybody? And do you agree with this crap, or do you think it's going to make us less safe and less comfortable? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Here's more. This is from another... These are from Washington University in Washington State, and this one's from UNC, University of North Carolina. Man, you need to say people, human beings, humanity. I'm sorry, mankind, people, human beings, humanity. Freshman, first-year student, can't say freshman. If somebody said first-year student, I'm like, oh, he's a freshman, okay. And they're like, oh, we can't say that. Man-made, can't say. Have to say machine-made, synthetic, artificial. How do you say something's... Oh, so instead of saying man-made, I have to say that's not man-made. What? That's... I can't... How do you call something that's man-made machine-made? It's not machine-made. It's man-made. The common man, can't say that. He's for the common man. Nope. The average person. Average doesn't describe common. Chairman, can't say chairman. No! Chair. Or chairperson. Or coordinator. Oh! Mailman? No! No mailman. No! Mail carrier. Letter carrier. Postal worker. Yes. See how soothing that is? Don't you feel better? Policeman? No. Police officer. Steward? Stewardess? I still call them that sometimes. Not to be rude, but I'm like, whatever. Nobody thinks I'm trying to offend anybody. Steward or it's stewardess? Nope. Flight attendant. Hello, sir. I would like to talk to the flight attendant, please. Actor, actress? No, you can't say actor, actress. No, actor. I'm not going to call a woman an actor. That's insane. Congressman? No. Legislator. Congressional representative? You got to have two long words to say congressman. Never. I've got more. I'll share them with you next. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. More of these great words. I'll pick out some choice ones for you coming up next. Plus... we're going to get into UC Berkeley, a firebomb suspect, 34. Wait till you hear where he lives and what kind of degrees he has and what kind of a house that's worth. Oh, my gosh. All that's next. Where are these terrorists coming from that are burning down universities?